Hello everybody and welcome back to the YouTube channel. As I, Fonz the Falco, thank you so much for taking just a few short minutes of your beautiful day to watch another video here on this channel. And look, I fixed the setup to some sorts. A little brighter here. Got the mic now in a whole stance so my hands here are free because I like to talk with my hands. We got ourselves a good video, a new series on this channel. If you guys aren't aware, I am expanding the YouTube channel a little bit more outside of my video versions of my podcast, the Slick Back Kick Report, which you definitely check out if you haven't already. I'm doing some other series on the channel, looking back in the sports world. I did one with Amon-Ra St. Brown a few weeks ago. You want to check that out. And a couple episodes of Fonz's rankings again. You want to check those out as well. But I have a new series on this channel. It's based on the podcast a while back, but I'm bringing it here as some regular full-time non-podcast videos, and that is Fonz's Top 10. Yes, this was formerly on the podcast, but I figured outside of the podcast on this YouTube channel, I want to do some other videos, some other lists, some other stuff. So I figured, why not do top 10s? I like lists. YouTube likes lists too. You like lists, so why not make it a Fonz's Top 10? And this first one here is about the WWE Draft. Now we know we had the NFL Draft a couple of days ago, and that's fun. I love the NFL Draft, but something about the WWE Draft I like a little bit more. Yes, I know what you're thinking. It's scripted. You know, it's predetermined. The writing is whatever, and the draft probably doesn't even matter because it's already done in the script. But I like the concept of the WWE Draft because it's a way to kind of refresh the rosters for both Raw and SmackDown. Maybe a superstar on Raw wasn't doing that well, wants a little bit of a refresher on SmackDown. Maybe a guy on SmackDown has had a great career, wants some new challenges on Raw. So I think it's a kind of a cool concept to kind of swap rosters. The first draft started in 2002, the inaugural first ever brand split. Ever since then, they've done some drafts here and there. There was called the Draft Lottery, the Brand Extension, the Superstar Shakeup, or recently now the WWE Draft. And like I said, it's a good way, I think, for superstars to kind of get a refresher here, to kind of see some potential that we can do on a new brand, some new rivalries, some new championship pursuits. I think it's overall a really cool concept. For this one, I decided to make a top 10 list. It is the Fonz's Top 10 of the best WWE Draft picks of all time. Now, there's definitely a lot of them. I went back in the draft pools and past draft to see which one was a top 10. It was hard to make a top 10 for this list. There's a lot of good choices, but I narrowed it down to the 10 that I like the most. Now, my criteria here is very simple. It's kind of superstars who benefited the most from being drafted to the brand, whether it was brand new storylines, successful championship tenders, or overall a nice career revival. And you'll be seeing that here with a couple of superstars mentioned. And I counted all past drafts, any draft pick, any round and whatnot too. The only thing I didn't factor in is the post-draft trades. And yes, I love trades, but post-draft trades, doesn't really count here. So it's just overall the top 10, my personal top 10 best WWE draft picks ever. It's very simple. But before we get to the list, you notice here probably some jewelry I have here. Some Arichi London jewelry. More on that right now. Are you looking to upgrade your jewelry game? Add some accessories to your outfits? Well, I got you covered. Arichi London is a men's jewelry company based out of London. Let me tell you guys about the product. The products are either silver or gold plated with 18K gold or premium 316L stainless steel. And the finishes for the jewelry are created with anodizing and dipping multiple times to thickly seal and plate the jewelry for maximum and unbeatable durability. You know what that means? It means the product will never rust, tarnish, or turn your skin green. You know what the best part is? All the products are completely waterproof, sweatproof, and heatproof, and they'll never fade, tarnish, or even rust. And the products are waterproof, sweatproof, and heatproof. And that means they'll never fade or tarnish. Another good thing, the products are 100% hyperallergenic, and you can wear any pieces 24/7. You don't have to worry about your skin developing a rash because the product does not contain nickel. And this is good for me actually because I have really, really sensitive skin. I have a couple of nice chains to them, a nice pendant here, the compass, and I got some bracelets here, a gold and silver one. The bracelets and the quality of the jewelry overall is really, really good. And it's a really good price. And you can get even better price if you use my code FONZ, F-O-N-Z, for 25% off your order. And also you get some free shipping on top of that. What more can you ask for? I'm telling you guys, it's some good quality jewelry. I'm really into accessories. I'm into some jewelry. So you guys, if you want to check out Arichi London, go to arichilondon.com. Get yourself some high quality either chains, pendants, bracelets, or rings right now. And use code FONZ, F-O-N-Z, for 25% off your order. Go do that right now. Now with that out of the way, here is my Fonz's top 10 of the best WWE draft picks of all time, in my personal opinion. Number 10, Shelton Benjamin to Raw in 2004. Shelton Benjamin started his career on SmackDown in 2002 as part of Team Angle with Charlie Haas, going with Kurt Angle in the mentioned Team Angle. And right away we saw he was an athletic freak. He was a lot of fun to watch and had a great successful tag team with Charlie Haas when they were called Team Angle and then the world's greatest tag team. He had a couple of tag team title reigns, but people saw a lot of potential with Benjamin as a potential single superstar. Hence the 2004 WWE Draft, Shelton Benjamin was selected second overall to be drafted to the Raw brand. And you saw from there, he had immediate success, defeating Triple H in his debut match, and actually had two more victories following against him, one by countout and one by disqualification. That does count here. He also had some good quality matches against other superstars like Shawn Michaels and that famous Sweet Chin Music, top rope jump, you know that was probably one of the most iconic moments in Raw history. And going in feuds with the members of Evolution, Randy Orton, Batista, and Ric Flair, he ended up capturing the Intercontinental Championship. And on top of that, had one of the most longest reigns as the Intercontinental Champion during that time's title history. And on top of that, had some great moments in Money in the Bank ladder matches. Always kind of been the title picture, but always an excellent mid-carder. He had a nice career with Raw, and it's thanks because he got drafted. Obviously, a lot of people did see World Championship level material here with him, but we never ended up seeing that. Again, a lot of big what-ifs with him, but there's no doubt that because he was drafted to Raw, it definitely helped him with his case, and he was an excellent superstar during his time on Raw because of his draft selection. Number 9, The Rock to SmackDown in 2002. I mean, it's the first pick overall in WWE Draft history. This was the time when they had two separate brands, Raw and SmackDown. They had to solidify two separate rosters because WWE was becoming big time. And what better way to start with the first ever draft pick to be the People's Champ, the great one, The Rock, and was arguably one of the biggest superstars during that time, and even to this day, one of the biggest of all time. And like I say, that set the tone for what we'll be seeing with future drafts here in WWE. It was an excellent pick being first overall. We know how it is with The Rock. He set the tone for the SmackDown brand, the blue band, had some iconic catchphrases there, ended up becoming world champion, undisputed champion during his time on SmackDown, was consistently at the top of the card and one of the best superstars during that time. Obviously, one of the best draft picks in WWE history. The first one, it is the best. Number 8, Daniel Bryan to SmackDown in 2011. This is actually the 9th pick in the supplemental draft. The supplemental draft is actually when the draft happens off TV, online, where you see it on Twitter and on the highlights online. But this proved to be a pivotal point in Daniel Bryan's career. See, Bryan was struggling on Raw, especially after losing the United States Championship. Once he moved to the SmackDown brand, he ended up winning the Money in the Bank contract. And you see that pick to SmackDown definitely paid off for him. When he won the Money in the Bank contract, he ended up cashing in to win his first ever World Championship. And we know it popularized the iconic yes chance, the yes movement. It definitely helped out his career. And honestly, this was a big part of it because of his draft pick to SmackDown. Because if he stayed to Raw, who knows what would have happened with him. SmackDown gave him the perfect opportunity to showcase his skills, winning the contract, winning his first title, and then getting over the crowd with the iconic yes, yes, yes movement. Number 7, Drew McIntyre to Raw in 2018. Drew McIntyre was touted as the great one, the chosen one, the next world champion by Vince McMahon, Vince McMahon's golden boy back in the day. He went from championship aspirations, sliding down to the mid-card level, then eventually to a comedy character with 3MB. He was released in 2004, and outside WWE, his career flourished so much that he returned in 2017 to the NXT brand. After joining an NXT Championship run as the company's top babyface, he ended up joining the Raw roster to be Dolph Ziggler's partner. As a villainous enforcer, he helped Dolph Ziggler win the Raw Tag Team Championships and was a mainstay, a part of the Raw roster during that time. Eventually, Drew McIntyre betrayed Dolph Ziggler and was transitioned more as a babyface, and then in 2018 was drafted to the Raw brand. And within that span, he ended up main eventing WrestleMania, winning the Royal Rumble and winning the WWE Championship. After years of being touted as the next one, the great one, the next WWE champion, he finally accomplished that feat, and it was all thanks to his draft pick in 2018 moving to Raw. Because hey, if he stayed on SmackDown with Dolph Ziggler, who knows what would happen? Maybe he would have had another career kind of similar to his previous WWE tenure. And thank God he got moved to Raw. Number 6, Seth Rollins to Raw in 2016. Yes, in 2011, the WWE brand split ended, and we ended up having 2 shows with one giant roster, but in 2016, they decided to bring it back. With SmackDown moving live to Tuesdays and Monday Night Raw still being a thing, they had to do 2 separate rosters. And Seth Rollins was touted as the top guy, being drafted number 1 overall in the reintroduction of the brand split. And with that number 1 overall selection to Raw, it was viewed as Rollins going to be the top guy on Raw. And it's crazy to think because Dean Ambrose, the WWE champion at that time, was drafted right after him. So the plans were clear that Seth Rollins was going to be the guy on Monday Night Raw, especially being moved to a 3-hour broadcast. It ended up being the right call for WWE. Rollins flourished on Raw Monday Night. Rollins, you know the whole thing with him. He was the main event top star with Raw, showcasing his skills in the ring and on the mic. Always in the main title picture in the beginning of his Raw run in 2016. Ended up winning the Universal title a few times actually, and eventually solidified him as one of the top guys in WWE, all thanks to his draft pick, number 1 overall in 2016. Number 5, Mark Henry to SmackDown in 2011. Like I said before, the WWE draft was used for a time when people needed to kind of revive their careers. It's an opportunity for that. And this was the perfect case for Mark Henry. See, Mark Henry was in WWE since 1996, but he was never the main event guy. He was viewed as more as a comedy character with the sexy chocolate gimmick and giving birth to a hand with Mae Young. I don't want to get into that. If you want to look it up, you can. I don't want to talk about that. But we knew outside of the ring he had so much potential to be a monster heel, but never got that opportunity. But that all changed in 2011 when he was drafted 4th overall to SmackDown. Being a generic babyface for so long, he ended up turning heel the night he was drafted, turning into the Mark Henry Hall of Pain gimmick, which is exactly what you would think. He would deliberately injure his partners and cut these great promos. It was an excellent pick for SmackDown. And the years of hard work definitely paid off for the veteran, because Mark Henry ended up winning the World Heavyweight Championship during his time on SmackDown because of this. And this definitely was an icing on the cake for his Hall of Fame career. This was a good move for him to move to SmackDown. This was an excellent call, that Hall of Pain gimmick. It was absolutely an incredible run. Number 4, Batista to SmackDown in 2005. This was around the time where I really fully got into wrestling, and Batista was one of my favorites growing up. And we'll get to the other main pick in just a second here on this list, but this pick right here, drafted 10th overall, the final pick in the 2005 draft lottery. Batista had just won the World Heavyweight Championship from Triple H at WrestleMania 21. And with John Cena moving to Raw, they needed a new babyface top champion. In comes Dave Batista. And safe to say, the Animal Batista had a great run in 2005 with that selection. It definitely helped out his career and was a top babyface with the World Heavyweight Championship. And he put on some excellent matches with the likes of Eddie Guerrero, and particularly with The Undertaker. Those two had some excellent chemistry, a great rivalry between the two. And I guess you could say he had a great rivalry with the Great Khali, but I don't want to talk about that. But still, he was the top guy, the top star on SmackDown, was a popularity with SmackDown. Probably was the reason why SmackDown was so popular, because fans absolutely loved Batista. And he seemed he felt right at home with SmackDown as the top guy for the blue brand. It was an excellent pick for SmackDown, a good call here. Number 3, Edge to Raw in 2004. See, for his drafting on Raw, Edge was a tag team guy, a mid-card guy, had the potential, but was always stuck in the tag team title picture. But before 2004's draft selection, he was actually out 2 years prior with a neck injury. And at this time, he needed a little bit of a refresher coming back from injury. And at the 10th overall pick, he was moved to Raw. And I really think this was a huge part in the reason why Edge became so popular. He embraced his heel persona once coming to Raw, winning the Money in the Bank contract, having the likes of rivals with John Cena for the WWE Championship, was the top heel and everybody absolutely hated. Even outside the WWE Championship, going up against the likes of Ric Flair and Mick Foley, veterans on Raw, the heel persona, that move to Raw was absolutely helpful for his career. And definitely solidified himself as one of the great stars in that time, a bastard heel. To this day, I still hate Edge because of that, and he did his damn job perfectly. Number 2, Roman Reigns to SmackDown in 2019. I mean, without this, we would have never gotten the Tribal Chief run, that run with the WWE Universal Undisputed Championship. Drafted 2nd overall in the 2019 WWE Draft. This was when SmackDown was moved to Fox. They wanted brand new rosters. And it took a while for it to work, because right away he got into a feud with Baron Corbin that no one really kind of was into, and then the COVID year happened when Reigns stepped away from the ring. But once he came back, that's when the Tribal Chief came to rise. And it took a while, but it paid dividends, because we had that 3-year run as the excellent WWE Undisputed Champion as the Tribal Chief. And I think because that draft pick to SmackDown, that definitely helped him a lot. It was a good way for SmackDown to bring in their top stars for Fox, the brand new network. This was a good culmination of two things into one. And if he never got drafted, we probably never would have gotten the Tribal Chief. Did you acknowledge him yet? And number 1, John Cena to Raw in 2005. I mean, this might be a little bit biased because John Cena was actually my favorite wrestler growing up. But previously mentioned with Batista in 2005, John Cena was the first draft selection in the 2005 WWE Draft Lottery. And after just winning the WWE Championship from JBL in WrestleMania 21, Raw needed a new top babyface champion. And what way to do it than bring in one of the fastest rising superstars at the time to the red brand, where he stayed there for a dominant 11-year impressive run, having feuds with the likes of Chris Jericho, Christian, Kurt Angle, Edge, the list goes on and on. Triple H too. Multi-time WWE champion during that time, many excellent matches, memorable matches, and even a 2-time Wrestler of the Year. And I think that move to Raw definitely helped him out and solidified himself as one of the GOATs of wrestling. Honestly, that draft selection was wild at the time, and it was a good call for Cena and a good call for WWE to move it over, not only with John Cena, but Batista previously mentioned. That is my Fonz's top 10 of the best WWE draft selections of all time, in my humble opinion. Do you agree with the list? Let me know. Did I get some wrong? Again, comment down below. Let's have a conversation back and forth. If you haven't already, definitely consider liking this video. Definitely subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit the bell. Tell a friend, tell a couple of friends. If you want to check out my podcast, you can check it out here, the Slick Back Kick Report. It's on this channel. If you like the audio version, you can check it out wherever you get your audio podcasts, whether it's Spotify, Apple, wherever you get them. The links are all down below. Like I said before, if you haven't already, check out my other videos that are non-podcast related if you want to. The Looking Back in the Sports World one with Amon-Ra St. Brown. Got some Fonz's rankings on there as well, including Roman Reigns' WrestleMania main events from worst to first. I got some other shorts on this channel. Definitely want to check everything out here. Support your boy. Support the brand. I actually have a side channel, Fonz Talks Jerseys, where I talk exclusively sports jerseys. The link is there down below as well. You can follow my TikTok, Instagram, everything at Fonz DeFalco. Help me get those numbers. The support is greatly appreciated. We just hit 500 subscribers on this YouTube channel, and I cannot thank you guys enough for subscribing to it. And I got plenty of other Fonz top 10 videos on this channel planned up here for you guys. Got other Looking Back in the Sports World. I got some other Fonz Talks jerseys, and I got some other videos I'm gonna do on this channel as well. You definitely want to stay tuned for that. Like I said with this channel, it's not a certain niche. It's more of a grab bag. It's my personality. It's like things like I talk about, whether it's wrestling, sports, whatever, and rankings lists, even going back in the history books of some sports stuff. If you like the grab bag content on this channel, definitely check out some other videos on here as well. You might find something you like. You can subscribe because maybe you'll find something you like in the near future. But that's all I got here today. Thank you so much again for checking out this video. Have a good day, good night, good evening, whenever you're watching said video, and I'll catch you next time. Peace out.